Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20+ years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video we'll be replacing the passenger side outer tie rod on this 95 Accord. Same for the driver's side and really the same procedure for most vehicles. Tools we use on this Accord: jack and jack stands, 16 to 19 millimeter sockets with ratchet, a couple of large adjustable wrenches, and needle nose pliers.
Start on these aluminum wheels by removing the center cap. Next, if you don't have the benefit of air tools, you want to loosen your lug nuts while your car is still on the ground. And then after you loosen the lug nuts, jack it up and support it. You always want to use a jack, and you want to use a jack stand. And then remove the lug nuts and the wheel.
These are 19 millimeter bolts.
Once you have your wheel off, what you want to do is come back here, and I'm looking right at the tie rod. Okay, I'm taking a Sharpie marker and I'm marking really well right where that bolt is. Okay, and I'm going to use that mark to place my bolt on my new tie rod. Okay, now what you want to do, I'm sure there's a particular size for these, but I just use two large adjustable. I got one that I put on the tie rod, and then the other one on this nut here, and make sure they're nice and tight. And then pull and loosen up that nut. Okay, next you want to pull this cotter pin out. And then on this car, this is a 16 millimeter nut. Could be different on yours. I'll remove that. Okay, now there's two ways you can go about this. If you're replacing your tie rod, you can just bring your nut up to here, right flush with the top of that, and then use a hammer and bang it down, and then it'll release it. The correct way to do it though is to use a tie rod and ball joint removal tool, and you basically just put this on. And tighten it up. This one uses a 19 millimeter socket. And it pops it right down. Okay, now you can release your nut the rest of the way, and then your tie rod spins off. Okay, so you can see here that the new part from 1A Auto is just a hair shorter than the original tie rod end. Okay, so the new tie rod comes with a new locking nut. So here's where making that mark comes into play. So we want to undo the old one. Okay, and then we know that our new tie rod is just probably about a 1/16 of an inch shorter than the old one. So when we put the new lock nut on, we'll leave maybe 1 or 2 threads between the new lock nut and where our mark was, and that will lengthen out the tie rod a little bit and give us a good preliminary alignment. But then we'll actually go and have the car lined. You should always have your car lined after you do any steering linkage or any major suspension work. So the tie rod goes right on. Okay, the new tie rod is a little stiff. I'm just going to use a hammer to kind of tap it so that it lines up better with the steering linkage here.
So now that I have the tie rod just kind of bolted into the steering knuckle, I'm going to use my two big adjustable wrenches again to tighten up that locking nut that holds the tie rod to the steering shaft.
Okay, and our bolt has a little bit larger 17mm nut on it. Pull that up. Nice and tight. Okay. And then I can see my holes right there. Tighten it up a little bit more so you know you can get the cotter pin through. Okay, put the pin in through. Bend it up and around. Okay. Now we can put the wheel back on and we'll set. Again, I'm just going to use my impact wrench, tighten them up a little bit. And once you have the car down on the ground, use a nice big wrench. And generally lug nuts you want to tighten up between 75 and 85 foot-pounds. I usually just use a breaker bar and get them tight. And take your cap, put it back on.
We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.